Welcome to Self-Care at Your Desk. Today's content is about how to better manage self-care practices even at your desk. We will cover healthy eating, physical activity, mindfulness, and social connections. My name is Jo Gilreath. I'm a health and human sciences educator with Purdue Extension in Warwick County. We bring research-based information to you to help make your life better. My background is in mental health, and my specialty area is health and wellness. In our time together, I plan to share some practical tips for taking care of yourself. The material I share is intended for informational purposes only. If you need any of today's information in an alternative format, contact me directly so I can provide an accommodation. Our learning objectives are to basically help you identify what a healthy eating pattern is, how you can make small changes to build your healthy style, to understand the benefits of physical activity to your health and identify some ways to increase your activity, and to identify changes you can make even at your desk to improve your well-being. You were provided a handout, access to a handout titled Self-Care at My Desk. Please have that out. It serves two purposes. It lists the resources that I will be referencing, and it's a working document for you to use during our session and afterwards to take notes of maybe some action steps that you want to implement. So here we go. Why is self-care so important? Do I need to say more? If the oxygen masks deploy, you must put your mask on first before helping somebody else. If you cannot keep yourself healthy, you are no help to others. And if the oxygen mask analogy is not enough, let's look to research. Research has shown how regular physical activity, good nutrition, and stress management benefits our physical and mental health. The information I cite is from the credible resources on your screen and listed on the backside of your handout. I want you to wrap your head around the fact that self-care means eat healthy, be active, manage stress. And if you look at your worksheet, those are the categories listed. So regular physical activity, good nutrition, and stress management help reduce the risk of developing preventable health conditions such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, osteoporosis, and even some cancers. It can help prevent falls and injuries. And did you know that heart disease is the leading cause of death for adults in the United States? 1 in 5. And cancer is the second leading cause of death. An additional note about cancer, according to the World Health Organization, 30 to 50% of all cancer cases are preventable through changes to lifestyle and environmental factors. Pause your screen if you want to read the slide to learn more. Other improvements to our health include living longer, lowering blood pressure, controlling blood pressure, maintaining a healthy weight, build strong bones, help with balance and flexibility, improve sleep and energy, reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. Do you want any of that? Another way to look at the benefits of self-care is to think about, what is your why? How do you want to live? What do you want to be able to do? Maybe jot that down on your paper. Okay, so how do we do this? And at our desk, for that matter. To start, we're going to focus on eating for your health because food choices affect your health. The CDC cites poor nutrition as one of the 4 main risk factors for preventable chronic disease. The other risk factors are tobacco use, lack of physical activity, and excessive alcohol use. So for healthy eating, start by focusing on the USDA guidelines My Plate. It's pretty simple. 5 food groups should be on your plate: vegetables, fruits, grains, protein, dairy. Half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. followed by a fourth of your plate grains and a fourth protein. And if you have dairy, a small serving on the side. Focus on whole fruits and vegetables. Vary your veggies, vary your proteins. They can be animal-based or plant-based. Try to make half of your grains whole grains. And you can move to low-fat milk, yogurts and cheeses, or dairy substitutes like plant-based milks and cheeses. Keep it simple. Eating healthy does not have to be complicated. Eat primarily plant-based, reduce added sugar, reduce overly processed foods. Plan your meals, shop, and prep. Basically, eat as Mother Nature intended. A quick side note on added sugar. A lot of the beverages we drink have added sugar. The USDA recommends adults consume less than 40 grams of sugar a day, combined from food and beverages. 40 grams is 10 teaspoons. The average can of soda has 40 or more grams of added sugar. And unfortunately, the average adult consumes 3 to 4 times the recommended amount of added sugar. Do you get the recommended amount of water per day that you should have? It's about 8 glasses or half of your weight in ounces. Try to reduce sugary drinks. Try herbal decaf teas or fruit-infused water. Have them nearby at your desk. Start with swapping out 1 sugary drink a day for a water and gradually increase. To be successful in healthy eating, you're going to want to shop, prep, and pack beverages, snacks, and your meals. One tip is to designate a prep day, maybe a Sunday afternoon where you would wash and cut and prep foods to be used later. Try fixing larger amounts of meals and divide them into small containers so you can grab and go quickly in the morning. Pack several meals at the start of the week and put them in your home fridge or take to an office fridge for your lunch. And remember to pack a snack for the car ride home. Make it a habit to plan, shop, prep. Some more ideas: you can fill multiple refillable water bottles and put them in the garage fridge or somewhere near your car to grab. Pack a small cooler or get a mini fridge. You can even keep a small blender at work for making smoothies. Plan to eat leftovers. You can just add a bunch of greens and vegetables to last night's protein. In fact, pack tomorrow's lunch when you're cleaning up today's dinner. Think about what else is realistic for you to do. Remember, small daily habits will increase your success. This is a great time for you to be writing on your handout ideas that you want to try. Another comment on packing. Brown bagging it will result in better nutrition. It will also save you money. Let's say the average amount you spend grabbing a lunch out is $10. You could probably fix a meal from home for $3. It's probably a healthier food choice. You would then save $7 every time you do that, even more if you're drinking water and not buying sugary drinks. If you do this every day, you would save $35 a week. That's $1,820 a year. If you did it 3 times a week, you'd save over $1,000 a year. And if there's more than one of you in your household, the savings could double or triple. Prepping and packing healthy food items also reduces stress by saving you time. Think about it. How often do you go grab something to eat? How much time does it take you? 20 minutes or so? How many of you say you don't have enough time in the day to do some self-care activities? If you pack your lunch, you're still going to take a break. You're going to move away from your desk, and you're going to use that time to do something positive for yourself. And don't forget to eat regularly. There is a legit condition called hangry, a state of emotional distress caused by dramatic hunger, and it can result in a bad temper. So now we're going to move on to physical activity. You knew it was coming. Exercise. Now, the word exercise can have a negative association. My challenge for you today is to create a mental mind shift. Ditch the word exercise and replace it with the phrase increase physical activity or be active. Just aim to integrate physical activity into each day. The CDC recommends 150 minutes a week of aerobic activity, 2 to 3 times a week of muscle strengthening activity, and 2 times or more a week of flexibility and balancing activities. Earlier, I mentioned the health benefits of physical activity, all these good consequences. So why do only 44% of the adults in Indiana get the recommended amount of physical activity? Well, we know there's lots of barriers: energy, time, motivation, support, resources, busy schedules, full plates, and that never-ending to-do list. And many of us sit way too much. But you can be active at your desk, in your office, throughout your day. You can do simple chair exercises, stretch, stand, go for a short walk. Are there stairs in your building? Take them. Is there a bathroom on another floor? Go there. Can you park farther out? Can you do walk and talk meetings? It's always good to have headphones handy. You can use them to stand and stretch or walk around while you're on webinars or calls. Have some kind of tracker for your steps and your movement. They might also be programmable to give you reminders. Usually they're on smartphones and watches. You can set an alarm on your phone or calendar to remind you to stop every hour and move, even for 5 minutes. There's benefit. Be prepared. Wear comfy, practical shoes or have an extra pair under your desk. In fact, have extra everything for walking: shoes, socks, hat, gloves. And if you're going to exercise after work, change into exercise clothes before you leave the office. Another great tip is to use a standing desk and alternate standing and sitting throughout the day. If you don't have a formal desk, then just find a counter or use a podium or build a standing area to use when you're on phone calls. If a coworker stops by your desk and starts chatting, stand up. Better yet, say, "Walk with me." Might want to keep a yoga mat nearby for stretching. Just lay flat, change posture. And remember, if you packed your lunch, you're going to have some extra time from not having to run out for food, and you can reallocate to being active. So I'm going to demo some right now. Follow along as you feel comfortable. If at any time something's uncomfortable or hurts, please stop. These are very basic, simple. I'm just going to demo 2 repetitions, but when you do them, aim for a little bit more, maybe 5 to 10. And we're just going to start with taking 2 deep breaths. Do a little afternoon or morning stretch, whatever time of day it is. Raise your arms up high, clasp your hands, lean gently to one side. Come back up, stretch over to the other side. Do some shoulder rolls, just roll backwards 3 times. Reverse and go forward. Do ear to shoulder, where we just tip our head to the right, hold it gently for count of 2, gently lift it back up to the middle, tip it to the left. It's a very controlled, slow movement. Bring it back up. Now we're going to do look left and look right. So slowly and intentionally turn your head to the left. It doesn't matter what side you do first. Come back to the center. Repeat to the other side. Always focusing on remaining to stay sitting straight. You should kind of be at the edge of your chair if you have a deep chair. No slouching. Next, we're going to do some arm presses. Just take your right arm and press it across the middle of your chest, back to the middle, and repeat to the other side. You're focusing on your arm in your chest, not your waist or your legs. After doing that a few times, you're going to switch, and now you're going to reach up to the sky, always crossing your midline and always having your eyes follow where your hand is going. And then one more press, you're going to reach down towards the floor like you're picking something up or taking a look at your comfy athletic shoes. Okay, then the next one I'm going to show you is called the seated row. Pretty easy. Just stick your arms out in front and pull back like you're rowing a boat. Do that slowly and intentionally. You should be feeling your shoulder blades squeeze and pinch in the back. Don't be dipping your arms. Keep them level. The next one's I call it the chicken. It's basically an awkward elbow movement. Put your hands on your shoulders. Lift your elbows up so the arms are parallel to the floor, and slowly pull your elbows in to a point that's comfortable. If it's uncomfortable, stop. Hold for a couple counts, and then pull back out. Slowly pull in, hold, and out. As you do this, you should always be looking straight ahead, or you can close your eyes. And again, I'm just doing a couple repetitions, but you can do anywhere from 5 to 10 or whatever you have time for. Moving on to our legs, you push back a little bit from your desk, extend one leg so you can make foot circles. Just go in one direction to the count of 5, reverse, and go the other direction. Put that foot down, lift up your next one, rotate it one direction, stop and reverse, and go the other way. Okay. Both legs flat on the floor, hip width apart, and we're just going to march in place. So you're just going to lift up your knees. If you're on a chair with arms, no death grip. The movement is not coming from your upper body, it's coming from your lower body. And make sure you're sitting up straight. And if marching in place seems too simple, then you can move on to knee raises, where you raise one side repeatedly to the count of 10. And then put that one down and switch to the other side. So the difference there is you're not alternating. Okay. The next couple exercises I show can be done sitting. They're better done standing. If you feel comfortable, stand up and you just come to the edge of your desk or your counter. And this one's called the toe stand. And you're just going to stand with your feet parallel apart. Sorry, can't see my feet. And you're just going to raise up on your tippy toes. Go ahead and hold on to the edge of your desk for balance. Raise up and hold for a couple seconds. And slowly low down. Slowly go down. It's a controlled movement. If your balance is feeling good, you can lift one hand up. Another challenge for our balance is to do this movement with our eyes closed. Okay, so that's the toe stand. Next, for balance, just stand on one leg. Lift up one foot. Again, you can hold on to the edge of the desk for balance based on your comfort, and always switch to the other side. If you have some open space around your desk, you can do a side step where you just go to one side and come back, out and back, out and back. If you're really feeling it, you can swing your arms a little bit, get some movement that way. The lateral side movement is very important because we are not doing that when we're walking. So side stepping is great. And then if you want to do a little bit more marching in place, you can do that while you're standing. Then when you're done, you come back to your seated position. And I just want you to do a quick finger stretch. So just clench your hands into fists and then release them. Spread your fingers out. Repeat that a couple times. Also do wrist rise and fall. That's where we have our arms straight out and we bend our hands down. Feels awkward. And then wrist rotation, not arm. We lift our palms up and then go back down. Should be feeling that in your wrist. And then another one, arms straight out. This one's with wrist rotation, and you just do your palms up and down. Again, this should be the movement of your wrist, not your arms. You can also pull them in. And that will reduce the tendency to turn the arms. Focus on the wrists. Then in closing, just do that big stretch again. Go back up, lean to each side. Hopefully it feels a little different than when you started. And end with just patting yourself on the back for taking some time to do some self-care. So we're all done. How did that feel? Do you feel any different? Do you feel your blood flowing? Do you feel a little more energized? That only took us about 5 minutes. And remember, little bursts of physical activity like this throughout the day are part of you being active. And you can do as many repetitions as time and comfort allows. And now would be a good time to jot down on your handout your thoughts related to how you can increase your activity. One more comment on physical activity. What really matters is that you're doing something. Don't get too hung up on what it is and how long you're doing it. Just pick an activity you enjoy, something you can stick with. Start with a small, simple walk every day. Just get moving. On your handout are some links to a couple other videos that have been produced from Purdue Extension to give you some more ideas for getting moving. So now we're going to move on to mindfulness. Good self-care involves taking care of our mental health through stress management. You're working hard, you're busy, your mind might be racing, your eyes are strained, you're stressed. I mean, when you notice your stress rising, you need to practice some calming mindfulness techniques. To start, you have to know your signs and symptoms. I mean, what do you think, feel, or do when you are stressed at your desk? It could be eye strain, racing heart, frustration, negative thoughts, becoming careless, not able to focus, feeling tired. That's an indication that you should pause and take a little break. Take your break time. Be deliberate in making time for yourself. Here's some ideas. Practice the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look away from your screen, 20 feet ahead for 20 seconds. Better yet, get up and walk away from your computer and desk for 5 minutes. Try making a phone call. Just call someone, non-work related, or write a note. Read a book. Look out at a window at nature, or get outside into nature. Listen to some calming or uplifting music. Kind of depends on what mood you need to change. Again, just stand up, stretch, do some of those chair exercises. You can meditate. Do just a quick meditative minute where you close your eyes and you focus on deep breathing and say a positive, short statement to yourself, like, let it go, or all is good. I mean, be creative in finding ways that you can sneak in 5 minutes of mindfulness here and there. So right now, jot down some practical ideas on your worksheet. The final self-care practice is to connect socially at work. When it comes to making small changes to improve our physical and mental health, you will be more successful if you have social connections in your work environment to support you. So here's some tips. Maybe discuss the topic at a staff meeting. You could agree on rules for bringing treats into the office, maybe swap out sugary treats for fruits, vegetables, nuts. You can set up an honor system of a snack station with healthy choices that people can grab throughout the day. Fill out forms on each person's favorites that don't include non junky food, and then gift those instead of treats for celebrations. Schedule walk and talk meetings with your colleagues, either in person or if you're at separate locations. Those headphones come in handy. Talk amongst your colleagues about reorganizing your office space. Explore ideas for creating a designated space for meditation, eating lunch, maybe playing a game, having a puzzle out, or some room for stretching. Do a picnic lunch outside instead of going to a restaurant. And don't eat at your desk. You could organize office challenges like for walking and steps or drinking water. Seek out an accountability buddy. If your office doesn't have a mini fridge, look into getting one. Have some kind of source of fresh water to refill bottles. Role model for others, like bring your athletic shoes to work and keep them under your desk. Maybe a colleague will do the same. You could form a group that meets occasionally to discuss your goals and your progress on your self-care activities and to encourage each other. You can get something called exercise dice and you just randomly throw them out and it tells you an exercise challenge to do. You could do a group read on a book related to a healthy topic. And there's lots of other ideas that you and your colleagues can come up with. So there we have it, 4 basic categories of self-care practices that you can implement at work, even at your desk. So look at your worksheet. Which are you accomplishing well? Which are your weak areas? Which areas will you add to your action plan so you can start to feel better? And remember, you don't have to do all of them at once. Be realistic, be smart with your goals, and start with something small, measurable. Give it a time, review it, readjust it if it's not working. You want to set yourself up for success. And here is an item for your action plan that I encourage you to reflect seriously on. Why are you doing the things that you know do not help you cope with stress? And why are you not doing the things that you know do help you? Give that some thought. So as we close our time together, I just want to reiterate that the sources for today's information are on your handout. This is a lot of information topic-wise that was only skimmed today in our 30 or so minutes. So dive a little deeper into those resources based on the areas that you need more support with. If you need additional information for yourself or others about coping with stress, we always recommend you check with local healthcare providers, along with the national sites on your screen: Be Well Indiana, SAMHSA, Mental Health America, the National Institute of Health, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, as well as your local Purdue Extension office. So I had pictures in here that belong to some public sources, so I wanted to acknowledge them. And I wanted to thank you for taking the time to learn more about self-care. It's been my pleasure providing this information, and your feedback is helpful for your extension office. It allows us the ability to improve the content of our programs and also show our stakeholders the impact that we are having. So we do appreciate you taking a few minutes to give feedback when you receive the link for a brief, voluntary, and anonymous survey. For additional information or questions, my contact information is on the screen. I'm at 812-897-6100. And you can always contact your local extension educator. So there we have it. Again, thank you for your time exploring what you can do to take care of yourself. You are very important, and I want you to just be well.